The fat Aloy memes are funny, just because one of them in particular, it really does look like a perfect parody of the images that people are using to kind of make fun of Aloy's appearance in the reveal trailer. Liana K did a really good job at explaining why her face probably looks like that, because it does look off when you compare her face from the first game to whatever they showed in the reveal. It's, she just looks, in her face she looks fatter and more swollen, and immediately, if you're very vigilant against like the culture wars, you're going to think, Guerrilla Games did something to make her look more unattractive to appease, idiots and weirdos on Twitter and Tumblr or something. But when I saw the reveal trailer, I face looked off. I didn't like her costume, her outfit in particular. I didn't like the boots, and it looked like she was just wearing some regular pants underneath, like the skirt thing. Now, I didn't picture her wearing a thong. I didn't expect her to be wearing a thong. But the pants, the way they looked, it just looked like she was a kid in the 30s trying to play baseball in a park, like, some old, not park, but like in the dump somewhere. I don't know. It just had like a Little Rascals look to the pants. I'm trying to think, what exactly was she wearing in her other outfits in the first game? Because they didn't look like just regular pants, but of course I know they weren't thongs or, panties or whatever underneath there. But anyway, I didn't like the outfit, and I thought they were trying to make it look like Robin Hood or Peter Pan or Link. I didn't like that. And I especially didn't like Aaron. When they show his face kind of looks like it does in the first game, but he looks goofier. He looks like they purposely did something to his face and his eyes to make him be more of a silly comic relief character, like a bumbling sidekick to Aloy, which he wasn't in the first game. He always looked like that, but he didn't have like the goofy eyes, and he wasn't hopping around like a goofball exactly. And I actually considered him one of her boyfriends. I considered Aaron one of Aloy's boyfriends. Like, I can't remember. I haven't played the game in a couple of years now. I love the game. It's one of my favorite games. It may have just been pushed out of the top 10 recently, but it was in my top 10 for a while. I never did platinum it yet. I probably will go back to it soon to do that. But I hate doing the hunting trials, so I haven't really, pushed myself to do it. But Aaron, then the black guy, whose name I forgot, the prince or king dude, and I think there's one more. I thought like she had like four boyfriends or four lovers, because there's one of the girls, I think it's Petra. I considered one of her, one of her lovers, even though they don't do anything. It's just the way they talk to each other. I'm like, oh, I ship them too. But yeah, so I hope Aaron is not going to be this goofy clown in the new game, and I hope they do something about both of their faces. The memes are funny. It's interesting. I don't know if interesting is the word, but every time somebody complains about a female character now, everybody has to show how progressive and feminist they are by going, who cares how the character looks? Stop trying to define what a woman is. But it's like, no, this person is saying they don't find this character attractive. And at a certain point, how many times do you argue with somebody in their tastes? I mean, you can say this person is being a dick. And the picture he had, this was two different things. So David Jaffe went on this tirade, this screed, being angry at people. Well, he was actually angry at a Reddit post, and he made it sound like everybody in the post was all upset that Aloy had gotten fat and she wasn't attractive anymore, and he made it this whole big thing about people needing something to whack off to and sexualizing. It's like, a pretty woman is not sexual. She's pretty to look at. It's like, it's not even, everything is taken to the nth degree. and it's done in like a disingenuous way, because the argument isn't, oh, I can't whack off to this character anymore when I play the game. It's, why does she look like this when in the previous game she looked like that? Is this another instance of, interference? This is another instance of trying to appeal to SJWs. And he just went off like, why do you wanted this fat phobia? I don't know, guys. Why are you worried so much about, whether or not you can whack off or masturbate to the main female lead? It's not important. You don't have to sexualize every character. Like, that's not what they were saying. And so I brought that up because I was looking at people on Twitter saying stuff like, you don't get to define what a woman is, because I guess, the thing I first saw was the Reddit post, and then another guy showed up on Twitter saying, hey, there's a conspiracy. Basically, he's talking about the conspiracy that, hey, doesn't it look like Sony makes all their female leads look masculine, blah, blah, blah. And he had a picture of fat Aloy with this fake, weird-looking TED Talk girl who he thought, or who he proposed should be how Aloy looks. Now, for me, the girl he proposed is super pretty. She looked kind of fake. She looked like a, like somebody said it, like a Disney princess, but not even like a Disney princess. She just looked like a fake version of a Disney princess. She looked weak. I didn't think that she was, like, I wouldn't want Aloy looking like that. I don't mean weak, like physically. She didn't have any gravitas. She didn't look like an iconic character. She just looked like somebody who didn't really know anything about Aloy, but wanted to cosplay as her. But yeah, I saw people, because of that particular thread, that people were, doing backflips to defend women and defend what defines a woman, blah, blah, blah. I saw somebody was saying, you don't get to define what a woman is. Stop telling us what women are. And it was a trans person who was saying that. And I was like, well, look, this isn't about defining what a woman is. This is defining what this guy finds attractive. Like, you can't argue with what somebody finds attractive. And you can't, like, he was being a dick and a troll, I guess, about it. But there is this, again, where people get up on their high horse and start saying things like, I am a woman, whether you say it or not. And it's like, look, we're not talking about trans people right now. Stay out of this. Like, he's literally, well, I guess with the masculine thing, but it's like, no, stay out of it. He's just talking about he doesn't find it attractive. So you can call the guy shallow or a troll or just being a dick. But I mean, if he doesn't find the character attractive, he doesn't find it attractive. This has nothing to do with, deciding who's a woman, who's not a woman. He was saying, and a lot of people believe this, and even though people won't say it, that it's clear that Sony is trying to make women less attractive in their video games. And they're doing it for this weird reason, because there's people online complaining about sexualization. So it's like, it's one thing if women are complaining and saying, hey, we're tired of these women with their butts hanging out and big boobs, even though I don't care if they say that either. I don't agree with that. Like, I don't think that's a big deal either. But it's another when it's just Aloy, who in the first game always fully covered up except for one particular outfit where her little belly is showing, and a lot of people like that because she's not really sexualized at all. So you have her, and you're making it like, well, we have to make her even uglier now. She has a pretty face. She's too pretty for her car. I don't. She's too pretty for her dog. But anyway, no. But it's like, when does it end where you have to keep appealing or trying to appease people who don't play the games and are just mad because they don't want men enjoying an attractive woman? And then there is that section of people who use the idea of sexualization more about their gender agenda. And and I'm saying it like that, like I'm sound like fucking Rush Limbaugh, but in the sense that they're still trying to push that there's no difference between genders, so that you accept, trans women. But a lot of trans women are very female presenting. And a lot of times, I remember I was reading Invisibles, and Lord Fanny, one of the great characters, male, female, in this case, Lord Fanny is actually transgender, but of the great characters in comic books, period, is Lord Fanning. She's very female presenting, and to the point where somebody, and this was, I have a lot of the old comics, single issues, and somebody was saying in one of the letters columns how he noticed that a lot of drag queens and trans women present themselves with the sort of feminine, hyper feminized stereotype. So it's like they're doing it better than straight women are. So you don't, like, I don't feel like it's, you have to worry, or like, you don't have to worry about whether or not trans people accept it because some guy, whether or not, I don't know how to say it. What I'm trying to say basically is it's silly to make it a gender issue when you just have some straight guys saying, hey, she's not as cute as I like her to be. Like, because, the trans person, as far as like attractability goes in, sex or whatever, that's not an issue. That's not the point. This guy is just talking about, why is she fat now? She doesn't look cute. You should make her look like this. That doesn't, you don't have to respond to that by saying, all women are women, like that's not a fight you need to fight. Just be like, okay, you're wrong. I think she's attractive, or just ignore it. That's just the way I feel about it, though. I feel like it doesn't have to be a gender issue. It doesn't have to be a big fight. But, oh yeah, so I was saying how Liana K did a good job of explaining why Aloy looks like that in the new reveal trailer or demo. And she talked about face capture or mocap, and how based on the angle of the camera, and she did tests on herself to show, because it's funny, she was complaining on Twitter, and she complained a bit on her video about it, how she actually looks like Aloy, or she kind of resembles her. Well, she was saying she literally looks like her, and actually she does kind of look like the new version of Aloy, the new reveal Aloy. They're both ginger, and so she was showing her face compared to Aloy's, and then she was doing tests showing you how, based on different angles of the mocap camera, it's going to make her cheeks look bigger. I don't mean the butt cheeks, or face cheeks or whatever, look bigger, so on and so forth. So it was really cool. It was really informative how she talked about that. And she said it probably happened that way in the first game, or in a lot of times with women in particular, certain angles will make them have fatter faces, and they go in later, the designers, and they sculpt that out. So to be honest, I hope they do that this time, because to me, it's not about, oh, she's fat and unattractive. It's just she doesn't look like Aloy. She looks like Aloy, who has some kind of, she looks like a little muskrat or something, like something's wrong, like she's ill, So, I mean, worst come to worst, if they keep it, I'll probably, I'll just live with it. But it would be better if they have her, consistently looking as she does in the first game. Now, she's older in this one by, who knows, a couple of years. But as long as she looks consistent, and I really wish they'd do something with Aaron, because Aaron, I don't want him looking like some goofy, like he has the same features, and he has the mohawk, he has the same kind of mechanic from Jersey look to him, but there's just something, this looks goofier, and I think it's more about the mocap and less about the design. So hopefully they'll go back and change those things, and I think maybe they were more worried, or not worried, more concerned about showing you just the graphical power and stuff like that. So we'll see. I am tired of this culture war where, an attractive woman all of a sudden becomes this big issue where, they're talking about, well, there's 50% of the PS5 owners are women, and so they don't want to be uncomfortable when they play games. It's like, shut the fuck up. Women like attractive women too. And it's one thing to say you don't want them all looking like dead or alive characters, but another to say, well, we just can't make them pretty because the women will just be offended. And like, why the fuck would they be offended? A pretty woman is not sexual. This idea that a woman is just, an attractive woman is sexually inviting, that's rape culture. If you're going to say, well, if you're, as soon as you make her attractive, then the guy is going to want her, and then he's going to go out into the real world and treat women as objects. It's like, fuck off. You just don't want, and it's this particular SJW feminist who feels this way. They just do not want men enjoying an attractive woman. They just want to shove healthy and any size in your face. They want to say that you're supposed to value people no matter how they look, and play these silly games that have nothing to do with being a consumer or playing a game. They keep acting like everybody is in their college course on anthropology or psychology or gender studies or something, when people are just trying to be entertained. But yeah, that's it for now. Thanks a lot. Take care.